As Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell plots the next move by the most powerful central bank, he might want to confer with officials in Beijing. China slipped back into deflation in October. A mild drop into the red. Admittedly, consumer prices fell just 0.2% year-on-year. But students of Japan's 1990s will remember that it's best not to downplay such inflection points. As Chinese officials head to San Francisco, they can expect to be peppered with questions about Beijing's plans to avoid a prolonged deflationary funk. Not since the late 1990s, arguably, has an Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation Summit been more preoccupied by Chinese weakness than its strength. The last time, again arguably, was in 1997 when the APEC circus unfurled its tents and communiques in Vancouver. That was amidst the chaos of Asia's financial crisis, and wow was it a frenetic scene. Surreal, too. At the time, I was a young Washington-based reporter covering the Fed and U.S. Treasury Department. I just spent a week in Hong Kong, where the International Monetary Fund held its annual meeting. There, U.S. and IMF officials scrambled to keep turmoil in Indonesia, South Korea and Thailand from spreading, especially to China. The worry at the time was that Beijing, too, would devalue its currency. That, officials feared, would kick off a fresh race to the bottom on exchange rates. And pull nations like Malaysia and the Philippines into the brink, too. This explains why, days earlier, then-Treasury Secretary Robert Rubin and deputies Lawrence Summers and Timothy Geithner stopped in Beijing to discourage Chinese leader Jiang Zemin from tossing lifter fluid on an already raging financial fire. China didn't devalue, thankfully. But a month later, when Asian officials landed in Vancouver, worries about China devaluing to prop up the economy followed then. Adding to the sense of doom in the air, worries that Japan, then Asia's biggest economy, would be pulled into the crisis. The 1997 APEC confab had barely begun when news broke that Yamaichi Securities had collapsed. The spectacular demise of the then 100-year-old institution, one of Japan's fabled Big Four brokerages, absolutely panicked officials gathered in Vancouver. None more so than Rubin and his boss President Bill Clinton. The days to come saw Clinton and fellow Asia-Pacific leaders cajoling then Japanese Prime Minister Ryutaro Hashimoto to get a handle on Tokyo's financial system. All the while, officials there also kept a firm watch on China's intentions. The events of 26 years ago are instructive as APEC again hits the North American West at a moment of maximum paranoia about Chinese fragility. Fresh signs of deflation hardly help. No member of the financial intelligentsia has more riding on China's trajectory than Fed leader Powell. As he prepares for San Francisco, Powell is reminding markets that the Fed won't hesitate to hike interest rates again if conditions warrant.